Okay, I'm basically starting all over with this video because apparently I have weaponized autism from the Army, and all the footage that I originally started with, I don't know what happened to it. It's gone. It's up in the cloud or something like that. I don't know. But all I really lost was me taping out this stripe on the side. So I'm just going to go over real quick because I'm getting ready to do the leaf on the stripe. So let me just go over real quick some of the stuff I'm using on this hood. Now, the black base color is Limco Supreme. It's code UA, which is the original code for the truck. And it's really easy to remember because UA stands for urine analysis. So there you go. That's easy to remember. I always wipe my panels down with 100% pure distilled alcohol. Now, with that being said, this is Kentucky, and I'm able to get this. I have like 10 jugs of it. I'm able to get this from what we would call unnamed sources. So, but it gives a real good clean, and I use microfibers with it. A lot of people are like, oh, don't use microfibers, don't use this, don't use that. Hey, you do you. I'm doing me. I use corn alcohol, and I gotta admit, I really like the smell of it. And it's 100% distilled alcohol, and I'll show you that how it looks and how good it cleans. I mean, you can see how dirty and dusty this is right now. I'll wipe it all down before I do the leaf. But some of the products I'm using, back to that. Limco distilled alcohol. I'm using the 500 LV Intercoat Clear from Vanderslice. I like that as a carrier for my candies. Now I am using Lime Lime's candies. They're candy concentrates. The Vanderslice is a real good Intercoat Clear. It goes on pure clear so you can see what you're doing. Later on in this video, I actually go through the mixing of this because I had to mix up gold candy for this right here. And whenever you pull your tape, I have never ever had this bridge or pull with the tape. So there's that. That's always a good thing. The clear that I use for my, I guess you could say layers, is Limco Springs LOC 10. This is a real good clear, It's a 4-to-1 mix. It's $135 a kit. You can't beat that. And in all honesty, most anything else I would finish with this, but I'm a huge fan of Vanderslice's VHS 900. This is what I would call a pure show clear. Gloss is ungodly. It's a 2-to-1 mix. It's high build. Buff's great. Sand's great. And that will be another video for another day. Now for the leafing, I'm using Lime Lime's variegated leaf right here, but I'm trying something different. Normally I'll use their spray-on adhesive, but I'm going a different route this time. This time I'm going to try, first time ever, brushing sizing on. I'm going to use a number 4 lettering quill to apply that. It's the 4008 fast dry size for gilding. And over top of that, once the leaf is all on and everything, I usually hit it with the Lime Line Adhesion Promoter. It doesn't take much, light coat, and has a little added protection to make sure the solvents from my clear coats don't get to the adhesive. I will do a couple of coats with my airbrush of the 500 LV clear over top of it, just as a little insurance to make sure solvents don't get to it. Even though I dust my first couple of coats on, that just, for whatever reason, makes me feel better. And then, like I said, I'll top it off with the 900 VHS 900. And wait till you see that, because it's an amazing clear. Back when I was in the collision industry, we used Glazert 460. If anybody out there familiar with Glazert 460, that stuff is $1,000 a kit. Great UV protection, yes, and they have a great warranty with the product, but I'm going to tell you right now, I would put this up against it, or even House of Color, any day of the week. This is a fantastic clear. I've used it several times, and I absolutely love it. And I only bought a quart kit because I only need to do my hood right now. I don't have anything else going on. I'm not a full-time painter. I'm actually retired and kind of just jacking around out the shop. But I'm going to clean this off and do the leaf real quick, and then the video will pick up where I taped out the flames and everything on the hood, and I'll go through all that. And then once I have the leafing done, that'll be towards the end of the video. Now, I will say this. When I get the leaf stripe on here, I am not clear coating this whole hood again. In my personal opinion, it's a waste of materials. What I do is I'll take my 2-inch tape and just make me kind of an umbrella going along here like this. And as I paint this, that overspray will go right up to it, but it won't leave a hard line. That way I can come back with 600 and wet sand and level out the leaf, and then we can top coat it with the VHS 900. So let's get to it and see what happens. Okay, this is my basic flame layout. I'm going to start filling all this in with tape, tape this off, and start laying some black down. All right, I'm all taped up, and I am fixing to mix up some black and lay some black down on this. Now, when I wiped it, I don't know if you can catch it in the time lapse, but I wiped this way, so that way I'm not catching the points on my flames and peeling them up. I might have to fix some tape, not a big deal. I'm not gonna hose this thing down with black, but I'm gonna get it covered. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, I got my black mixed up. I need to hurry up and get this black put on there. We've got a storm rolling in, humidity's up. This might turn into a nightmare, so let's see what happens. Okay, I went ahead and painted this little side stripe or whatever you want to call it. What I did was I laid down some lace, did that in black base, and then went over it all with black candy. And that turned out pretty good. Now, to expose the flames so I can get color on them, I actually have to untape it in reverse of how I taped it up. And that's just in case I might have actually, when I was cutting this tape, might have actually gone through and cut the vinyl tape stripe. And any black that might have seeped under my tape because humidity was ungodly. You can see where it started to roll up on me here and there. If any paint got underneath, I can clean it up before I start adding color. And yeah, there's a little bit of dirt specks in it. I'm not worried about that because once it's all said and done, it's going to get clear coated, wet sanded down level again. And then this stripe is going to be a variegated leaf. So I will be clear coating that, then wet sanding it level and start polishing. So let's see what happens. And I don't know if the camera can pick it up or not, but I've got a little bit of adhesive from my vinyl that I used to make the letters. Solvent from the paint got to it a little bit, softened it up. Here's a quick and easy way to get it removed in case you've ever run into this problem before. Just need a little bit of tape, good tape. Just like that, it's gone. A little bit right there. And if you did your job right and prepped your surface good, and use a good quality Intercoat clear, you won't have to worry about nothing peeling up on you. A little bit more right there. And that's all it takes. That'll take it all off for you. All right, we're all untaped, and I do have some bleed throughs, but it's nothing to freak out or stress out about. And when I was a younger man, I'd be losing my mind about all these bleed throughs, but it's just simple fix. Just go through with a rag with a little lacquer thinner on it, wipe them off. It's amazing. And for you younger guys out there, you'll figure this out as you get older. The older you get, the more laid back you get, and you just don't stress over stuff. I guess being a grandparent makes you more patient, way more patient than you were when you was a parent. But I'm gonna get that cleaned up and start laying some color down. Outline in red, then maybe a little orange candy, then gold candy all around here. This is my blue Ford emblem. I'm gonna have to color that in. And yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Let's see. so if you're interested in what I'm using for this project, I'm using a premium color blender from Vanderslice Custom Shop, and I'm using what I have on hand. So what I do is I pre-mix all my candies and store them in these little half-pint cans, and they will keep, and the reducer will not evaporate from them. Now I actually have to mix up some gold, and I'll go over that. I'm going to use Limelight candy concentrates with the premium color blender because it's what I have on hand, and it works out pretty good. What I like about the premium color blender is it dries fairly quick and it doesn't peel when you pull your tape. When I've used other Intercoat clears in the past, I've always had a problem with the candy wanting to peel with the tape. It'll bridge on, and doing a large project like this, it's easier to get it to bridge on because you're trying to cover a large area, so it's real easy to overdo it. But I don't have a problem with the Vanderslice Custom Shop Premium Color Blender. Now I'm going to top coat it with Limco LOC 10 after I get all my color on, and I'm using that for my in-between coats of clear, and I'm going to top it off with a premium clear, and I'll go over that later. Okay, what I've done here is I've wet sanded this with some 400 real quick to give it kind of a fade, so that it didn't have a hard line right here. I didn't really want that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a black fade around the oval, and I'm doing black first before I put candy over top of it because in my opinion it'll give it more depth. I'm going to start outlining the flames with candy red, and then we'll come back and fade in with some orange, and then finish off with some gold candy. Okay, so basically what you see I've done here is I've basically just traced my tape with red candy. Now it needs one more coat of red candy to achieve the color I'm after over top of this flake. So while this is flashing, because I'm going to give it about 15 minutes, while this is flashing I'm going to mix up my gold. And then when I have the gold mixed up, I'm going to mix a little bit of the red in with the gold and make an orange to fill all this in here. Same principle with this blue oval that I'm fixing to do. And before I put the gold down, I'm going to put the blue down and then tape that back up. So once all that's done, it should look pretty kick-ass, I think. But let's go mix up some gold. By the time I'm done mixing that up, I should be able to go back over that red again. Okay, going to mix up some gold candy. So Rob recommends on his candies to mix them 8-to-1, and you can intensify them even more. But since I'm using Limelight candy concentrate, I'm going to follow their guide, and it's really simple: 70-30, 70-30. So I've already got 70 milliliters, and this is the simplest way I can figure this out how to do. I got 70 milliliters in this little cup of color blender, the Custom Shop Vanderslice Custom Shop color blender. I got what I'm using WAG to guesstimate 70 milliliters in there. So I'm gonna take it up to 100 with the candy concentrate. So 70-30. So 70 is already in there. Let's add 30 up to 100. There we go. Now, let's go here. Let's mix up. And the cool thing is, that is all it takes. Rich gold candy. Now I still have to reduce it, of course. So I'm at 100 milliliters right now. I'll take it up to 200 milliliters with a reducer. You don't want to do that with your stick in there. That'll throw your measurement off. About spilled it. Now when I make these videos, the camera may be shaky. I may about spill something. I have weaponized autism. I was in the Army. There we go. Mix it up good. That's going to be your basic yellow gold candy. And what I do after that is I will transfer it in this half-pint can and store it that way. Now, because I got this crusty crap around the where the lid goes on the candy concentrate, I'm gonna grab a strainer. There we go. And I'm gonna strain that into the can. Just in case any of that crusty stuff fell in there. There we have it. And by the time you finish mixing up in that little cup, you have a full half pint of candy ready to use whenever you're ready. That's simple. Now, see what I mean about some crusty crap falling in there? That's why you strain it. Now I'll clean this little mixing cup up and reuse it. That's how I mix my candies, generally. Hopefully that helps somebody out. Okay, cup's all cleaned out, ready to be used again. Put that back in the cabinet. And I like these little squirt bottles, or I call them squirt bottles. I get them at Dollar General. They're for food dye. And so I got a set of these from the wife, and I said, well, heck, if they're for food dye, maybe work on paint. So I filled one up, just one, to test it, to make sure the bottle didn't melt on me or anything like that. And it worked out good. And once they're capped off, they generally keep. You do have to check them once in a while. I'm not an everyday airbrusher. You do have to check them to make sure it hasn't lost reducer and you just wind up with dried paint in there. I should have put tape on the can, but I didn't, so we'll roll with it. There we go. Now I got a mess to clean up. Told you, weaponized autism, folks. It's a real thing. Okay, I started to peel the vinyl. What I'm going to do is remove the area that I want to paint blue. This is, I'm trying this for the first time. This is Limeline removable vinyl. So we'll see how it goes. This is my first time trying it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this exposed and get ready to paint some blue on it. Hey, not too bad. That peeled real easy. Absolutely no residue on the surface. Now, the reason I'm doing this like this is if I'm going to have to tape around this, I'd rather do it on wet sanded clear as opposed to something freshly painted. And that's why I'm doing it in this order. So I'm going to lay the blue down, and then after I have the blue down, I'm going to lightly tape around this, and then probably paper over that to keep from touching that blue. I'm probably going to have to give this, I'm guessing probably 30 minutes or so to flash real good. By that time, all this red will be good and flashed and dry, and that makes peeling my pinstripe tape up a whole lot easier and a lot safer. So let me get this taped up here. All right, there that is. Yeah, it looks a little dry. I blended everything in with a little bit of the Vanderslice color blender, smooth things out a little bit. All that's going to melt in when it's cleared anyway. I'm going to let that set up for about 30 minutes before I move on and tape over that so I can do my orange and my gold and get some clear coat on this thing and be done. All right, we're going to add some Agent Orange. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm not going to worry about covering up the blue right now until I do the gold, because even if a little bit of orange dust gets onto it, you're not going to notice it. So I'm going to add the orange to it now. All right, that turned out pretty decent. Let me show you. Orange is laid on, and that is just red mixed with the gold. I'm going to tape off this oval. We're going to finish this up. Now what I'm doing here is I'm not like covering the whole thing. I'm essentially making a tape, or what I call a tape umbrella. And the theory behind this is when I'm spraying the gold in here, it will deflect. If anything happens to lay on here, you see all this dust right here I've still got to get off. If anything lands on here, I can tack rag it off. I've got to tack rag the whole thing before I clear it to get all that dust off of here. And yeah, we'll be looking good. Let's get this gold on. There we are. Now, I'm going to give this gold a chance to dry, probably 30 minutes or so. I am not digging that. I'm going to tape that off and black that back out. That's like one of the worst ideas in the history of bad ideas. Weaponized autism at play. I'm going to go ahead and peel my pinstripe tape and see what that looks like. All right, we're ready for clear coat. So what I'm going to do is dust the graphics with just some clear. 2 dust coats to lock everything down. And then we'll start really putting it to it. Let's go. All right, here we go. Done. Clear coated. Yeah, there's some dirt nibs in it. It's because my homemade booth, I didn't pressure wash it out real good like I normally do. That I usually only do, before final clear. But this turned out pretty good. Now it's going to get wet sanded down, and these stripes will wind up being gold leaf, and then it'll be clear coated again, and possibly clear coated a third time for a flow coat, depending on how good it turns out. But yeah, I'm happy. Okay, so I'm going to wipe this hood down. Now, I'm obviously not going to pour from that big jug onto this rag to wipe this panel down. That would be retarded. I transferred some of that to this old alcohol bottle a long time ago, and I've just been using it ever since. But I used to use 91% alcohol from like Walmart or Dollar General, wherever. That works fine too. You could use spray away, but nowadays spray away is getting pretty dear in price, and this is like a couple bucks. But free alcohol is even better. I've had people ask me if you can drink it. Yes, you can, but I don't recommend it. It does. It's pretty potent, and I just doused the microfiber. Just soak it. Set this down. Just start wiping down and cleaning. And it's like, it's ungodly hot here today. I think Satan might have ripped a fart on the entire state of Kentucky. I don't know. Whew. Golly, that smells good. If you've never smelled corn alcohol before it goes into a barrel at a distillery or anything, you're missing out. Strong smell of corn here. You see, I'm just wiping and wiping and wiping. This is going to get all the oils from your hands off of it, because, yeah, I had to carry it over to the booth. Evaporates quickly, leaves no residue. Kind of takes the equation of weaponized autism right out of it. Now this old hood was on my other 2007 F-150 that I got back in 2013. I just bought another one with low miles locally, an FX2, for cheap. I only paid like $2,500 for the truck, but I got more into it back because I put new tires on it, put exhaust manifolds on it, done some other stuff. So I thought, you know, since I retired the other truck because it has 408,000 miles on it, why not use its aftermarket hood on the new truck, but make it cool? So that's what I'm doing. Now, it's a fiberglass hood. Normally, I would get some anti-static wipes. I don't use dryer sheets because it's got perfumes and fabric softener in it. You don't really want that all over your panel. Just go buy the anti-static wipes and wipe it down. But this hood has been outside since 2013 on a vehicle, and there's no more static left to it. It discharged a long time ago. Okay, so I'm going to tape out where I'm going to do the leaf striking. I've got a couple burn throughs I'll address while I'm at it, but I'm not going to sit here and video all that and bore you to tears, because those of you who do this and know how to do it, you'll be sitting there like, oh my God, this dude's boring the heck out of me. I gotta move on. So I'll time lapse that, and for anybody new to this stuff, you'll get the idea of what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to try the brush on sizing for the very first time and see how it works out. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, I'll wipe it all off and do the spray on sizing from Limelight. All right, going to time lapse. Okay, I'm all taped off, and I'm gonna give it another good wipe down in case I touched anything in here. And the reason I put all this tape on here is I've never used the one-shot sizing before. Now, I've used ducks or dukes, whatever you want to call it, but I've sprayed it on, and I basically picked that up from Brush Strokes. I saw him do it on one of his videos. You just mix it with a little mineral spirits and it'll spray through your airbrush. And I like the water-based sizing from Limelight as well, but I just wanted to try to do this by brush. Like I said, worst case scenario, just peel it off, wipe it down, start all over. So let's see what happens. Okay, so this is what I'm using. One shot, fast dry gold size. I don't know if you hear that because I got the fan running. It sounds very watery, very thin. So we're gonna try it. I can't find any videos anywhere on YouTube or anywhere else of anybody using this stuff. I've looked up One Shot, gold size, on YouTube, on Google, and everywhere else, and I can't find anything. So I want to try it out. But I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you. What I'm going to do is put some in a medicine cup, and I have a body filler mixing board that I use for a palette, and that's how I'm going to palette my brush. And we'll apply it and see what happens. And like I said, I have extra tape on in case it runs down or something stupid. But yeah, this ought to be interesting. Let's check it out. One thing I want to mention, look at how I taped that. Now, the original stripe that I had taped off that you see in the flake there, that's just a guideline. What I did was made sure some of the black shows. That way none of the flake bleeds through or anything like that. So that way it's a nice crisp line, because if you see some silver or something like that after you lay the flake, if you have any friends like mine who like to point out your flaws, a guy I used to work with, I won't mention any names, but starts with Bruce. If I sent him a picture and he could see that silver, he'd circle it and send it back and say, "What is that?" I'm not going to say he has weaponized autism like me, but I don't think the VA has a name for whatever he's got. But anyway, I'm going to get my brush and get to laying this down, see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to palette my brush real good. This is a custom shop large quill. They don't do numbers on theirs, but it's a lettering quill. It's size large, so I can get in here real good. Get a good even coat. You want to do long, even strokes, from what I understand. I was watching Manning's video, Tropical Blitz, on how to do this. See if I picked anything up. And this stuff is a gold color, so I should be able to see it pretty good on this flake. I'm going to start at the end here. It flows pretty good. Almost like they're striping it in. Goes on nice at the end. You don't want to put it on heavy. Just need to make sure your area is covered. And it's a nice see that needs a little bit more nice even stroke. I don't mind spraying it on, but doing all that masking up is a little time consuming if you ask me. And at my age, I don't have time to waste anymore. Not like when I was younger. I think that'll work. Now the SDS sheet says to give this one side about 30 minutes to dry good, or to set up rather. And you have 2 to 3 hours working time with it depending on temperature. And it is hot. It is ungodly hot here. sizing because of the gold color it comes in, and that really helps up the top of this silver plate. There we go. We are coated good. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. I'll do that in time lapse. Okay, so that wasn't bad. Not only does it have that gold color and I'm able to see it through that flake, but I was able to easily pick up any spots I missed because it's glossy. If you catch it just right in the light, you'll be able to see any dry spots. You'll know you missed that with sizing. So that's one advantage I'm seeing so far. We'll give that about 30 minutes and check it and see if we can start putting leaf. I'm gonna go cut some leaf into strips and make it easier to apply. All right, I just checked this. I think the red leaves. Nice little squeak there, using the back side of your finger. That's how you know. See if this is gonna work. See how this goes. Now I said I was gonna cut this, but I'm not. Because I thought about it and I'm like, there might be something else bigger that I may want to use this leaf on, so. Now I'm not gonna spin this because I'm one that doesn't really feel like variegated leaf looks good spun. That's just me. So I'm just gonna lay it down there. I got a little piece right there that didn't take. Roll with it, see how it goes. I hate to be doing this in my booth, but it was the best room to actually do this example in, rather than in my main shop where I do all my body work. Oh man, I think we're gonna be all right. Here we go. I'm gonna switch over to time lapse. All right, I'm gonna burnish this real quick and see what it looks like. And when you burnish your leaf, keep your shop vac handy because leaf does make a heck of a mess. But I'm only doing one layer. That's the plan anyway. So far so good. My only complaint about brushing it on is the dry time. It was over an hour, where the water-based spray is like just a few minutes you can start laying leaf. But you gotta be careful not to do it too soon, or you will have issues. issues is one of those things we're trying to prevent. I got enough issues. I don't need to add to it. See if I can spot that a little more wide. There we go. Still not quite happy with it. And the way I put it on, I just tear it off with a finger. If I need some more here or there. The advantage of spraying it on is if you have to do another layer, you can do that. I don't think I want to brush more leaf on top, or more siding on top of leaf. But it's really not too bad. It turned out pretty decent. What I'm hoping for is sharp, crisp lines. That's what I'm hoping for. Piece right here. Brush it over there. Like I said, what I'm hoping for is sharp, crisp lines. Now I'm going to untape this side before I even do the other side, because if this comes up messed up, well, there's no point in doing the other side. Let's see some spots. They're not taken. What I may do is switch over to the spray stuff. And I'm not going to wait an hour for more siding to dry. I need to get this done. Too bad. Dry time is my only issue with it. Just a couple spots is all. I may have missed it with glue. My crappy eyes, to be honest with you. Yep, I'm gonna lay some paper down, do another layer. Much as I hate to, I like to keep it as clean as possible. It's easier to clear over that way. Let's move all this mess. See what a mess the leaf makes? But as you can see, it's not hard to do. Fairly easy, actually. Should have known better than to leave that up there. Weaponized autism. Okay, I switched over to spray glue. that's just so I can hurry up and get this done, because I need to get this cleared today. And it has a, it's hard to tell, it has a pearl in it. Okay, here we go. This is a crappy old Neo airbrush, and it's spitting and sputtering, and it's not good. It's probably going to give me issues, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Needs a good thorough cleaning is what it needs. Probably got some crap on it in here. All I use it for is glue. Yeah. There it goes. It's working now. I'm going to let that dry. We'll do another layer. Oh, good. And let's hope I have better luck with the other side when I leave it. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if the spray needs to save the day here. I may be wiping all this off. I don't know. Serious cleanup. Pull my tape at an angle to make sure I get a nice crisp cut on that leaf. Still looking a little jagged, but we'll clean that up with the brush here in a minute. downside to the spray adhesive is it'll get all over your brush and jack it up. And then you gotta go steal another one from your old lady. And then she's gonna ask you, hey, have you seen my makeup brush? And you gotta play stupid like, no, I don't know what you keep doing with them things. There we go. One variegated leaf strike. I'm digging it. Oh yeah, I can live with that. I'm just gotten to where I really like striping done with leaf. Now I'm gonna let this sit overnight so that adhesive dries good. Not gonna mess with it anymore today. And then I'll come back tomorrow and put a couple of coats of Intercoat Clear on top of it, then 2K Clear on top of that. And right now I got a mess to clean up, so come back tomorrow, hit it again. Okay, so here we are back next day, and I've already got the hood pretty much taped off for what I'm going to do. Now, most of you are going to be like, man, you're crazy, but I ask you, I've already got the flames over here all leveled out. What is the point in putting more clear coat on it when all I need to do is bury this leaf right here? So the way I've got this taped off, I've got my tape rolled, and we used to do this all the time in the collision business. You know, if you replace a cab corner on a truck, you're going to paint the whole cab? No, you're not. That's ridiculous. It saves the materials and it saves time, because tomorrow I'll just have to come back and level the leaf stripe out and glow coat the whole thing. So it's a material saver and it's a time saver is what I'm doing here. Now I'm gonna hit this with some adhesion promoter to make sure my clear coat bonds to the leaf, because I'm not spinning it. Spinning it gives it a little extra adhesion in my opinion, but I'm not doing that. I'm not spinning. I don't like spun variegated leaf. I don't think it looks that great. That's just my opinion. But I've got both sides taped off, tape rolled on top. And what that's going to do when I roll the tape like that is give me a soft line so I can come in and level it out tomorrow. And I was thinking about doing a little something here, but I'm not. I just want to get this done, get it put on my truck. But I'm going to wipe this down real good. I'm going to get started here. Got to get this knocked out, get it put back on my truck. Okay, this is what I'm using for adhesion promoter. It's a one-coat application. First adhesion promoter I've ever used that has a ball in it like spray paint, but there's several times that I've used it, no issues. Has a fan pattern to it, so that makes things nice. Nice white, medium wet coat. We'll give that about 5 minutes to dry. After that, you don't have to do this, but I do it as a little insurance policy to keep the solvents from my clear coat from getting to the glue of the leaf. I'm going to put a couple coats of Intercoat Clear on that. Like I said, just for added insurance policy before I start hitting it with 2K. Okay, so I'm going to clear over this with the Lenco LOC10. First couple coats I'm just going to dust on to lock it right down and give it a barrier to keep any solvents from getting to the leaf. And then I'll nail it for a couple of coats. And what I'm going to do is peel this rolled up tape away while it's still wet. And what that will do is let that edge flow a little bit, and it takes away a wall for the clear coat to kind of back up to create a line. Okay, last coat. After I get this on, I'm going to immediately peel this tape, just to keep it from bridging on any of it. That's it. Now I'm out of clear. So 3 good coats on there. Pick this up. Here's what we want to do. Now that is all buried and clear. And you see I have a nice soft edge. Looks a little dry sprayed, but it's going to wet sand with 600, very nice, and will blend in. Got a little bit of dirt in it because I didn't put my suit on. If it was somebody else's, I would have. This is mine, so I don't care. By the time it's wet sanding, you're never going to see that anyway. I'm real happy with that. Okay, going to come back over this now with some 600. Level out the leaf, which it's not going to take much. I can barely feel it. Blend this dry edge in on both sides and flow coat the whole thing with some Vanderslice VHS 900. Okay, I just stopped for a minute to show you this. Like I said, you can't even tell where I stopped with the clear. And once you flow coat it, you definitely won't tell. Told you it would work. Okay, we're all set to clear. I've got my VHS 900 loaded up into my DV1 clear gun. Hood's been wiped down with Kentucky Creek Paint Cleaner and been tack racked. I've wet my floor. I'm trying to keep any dirt and dust out as much as possible. This is a homemade boot that's still going to get stuff in it, which I will deal with when it comes time to cut and buff it. But I'm going to get this clear laid on. I can't wait to get this back on my truck. First coat's just a light coat. I always do a tack coat before I start really hammering it. I'll probably be doing a total of 3 coats. And on my last coat, I always add in just a splash of slow reducer for flow. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes doing the old touch test, and we are good to go for another coat. So I'm gonna get after it. All right, there it is. In the end, I decided not to add any slow reducer to it because obviously it doesn't need it. The VHS 900 cannot be beat for a finish clear. It just can't. I mean, how do you argue with the results? Really? All right, that's it for this video. I may do another one on cutting and buffing the hood. You can't argue with the results of the VHS 900. It's a phenomenal clear. I'm gonna do the vents in a single stage hot rod black and get it put back on the truck. Well, the truck actually has another hood on it now, but anyway. May do another video on cutting and buffing. I don't know. Depends on how much traction I get on this video. Thanks for watching. See ya.